Today we are going to assess the election period. I hope that everybody that is seated in this room will have space to assess the election period.
I think it was not free and fair. Reasons one, during the past elections, there was a lot of bribery for the electorates.
There was ballot stuffing in almost every polling station here in Soroti district. What do I mean by ballot stuffing? One person is eligible to cast one vote. Unfortunately, one person was casting 3 votes 2 times, and it was okay with the EC.
We as young people were not given full rights of participating. Instead, we were bought off.
People in the villages not being sensitized on what are their roles and their duties as citizens of this country. You find that it was a very serious challenge that people were voting according to the bribe, but they don't know their roles as the citizens of this country.
What were roles and responsibilities of the young people during the election?
I see, according to what I did, because those were my roles and responsibilities. I think we the young people were taken as people who gun posters, shouting, blowing vuvuzelas, causing commotion, just to mention but a few.
The youth were involved in the observation of free and fair election, which turned not free and fair. That one we all know.
As young people, our role in the election was to participate, but some of the youth also turn opposite. They want money instead of participating as a citizens of this country to vote. But finally you find that if somebody fails to get any money, or if they fail to transport you to the voting point, you refuse to go and vote.
Voting itself, because they are also voters. So was also to go and vote, to really perform that exercise of voting during that time.
The youth were ambassadors of peace in the previous election, in a way that the youth who supported particular parties or particular personalities were spreading a message of reconciliation in order to have a better electoral process. One of the most profound recommendations to the EC should be able to gazette electoral areas before election. It should be even able to gazette it before 6 months. To resolve as in a conflict now in Soroti East, where the wards of Opia and Aloit have been conflicted off, EC would have saved themselves this embarrassment by gazetting these electoral areas before an election.
Issues of bribery. They normally give electoral commission something, but of course you don't have to air it out. Just have to be chini with it.
I think there is need of much more effort by electoral commission to educate the masses, the process that govern and conquer the election of special interest groups. We may understand that some people, apart from us, the few here, don't understand how some of these people are elected to these positions. So there must be more of voter education on when should elections start and how people participate, who participates, and such that it brings equal opportunity to everyone, especially in local areas. It is very, very few people who participate in these elections because it's described, especially, it's information for the few.
What I recommend to the commission, it is to pay these people well. Because you cannot pay me 40,000, then they bring 100 and I refuse. It will be abnormal in human sense. They should pay their officers very well so that they will avoid these briberies.
When I was part of the campaign manager for my sister Judith, whereby an EC asked Judith for that I need Panadol. But I don't know whether she realized what the EC was meaning about Panadol, but we left it to God. That Panadol means that if Judith would have given that guy Panadol, then basically she should have won the election. EC should be totally independent. And they should also sensitize the community before elections. They only sensitize a community with maybe 2 to 3 days to election. At least they should start at least three. Maybe I say can begin from 3 years to election, so that people can understand more about their roles, the do's and the don'ts of what election.
On the side of electoral commission must be neutral, not to be participant on only one political line. Let accept to give platforms to all the political parties so that the ideas will flow to the members and people will be given equal right and opportunities to participate in the campaigning period.
Electoral Commission also should be able to deliver election materials in time and really with all the symbols and signs not to affect candidates on that day.
How young people can work with the elected new leaders in the district.
Should leave our differences, whatever we had, party, NRM or what, and really join hands and work for the same cause, for the betterment of our society. Thank you.
I want to call upon all the young people to accept to follow politics of forgiveness and avoid politics of revenge. Because if we contain politics of revenge, this will pull us nowhere, and it will make our elected leaders to fear to have contact with us. Yet they are the gadgets of communication to the development point of this country. So a leader is like a communication line or a pipeline to deliver people's view from the ground to the government system. So we need all of us to participate in harmony.
We should create a workable environment between you and the newly elected leader. If you show me hatred, bet you I won't work with you. You hate me, I don't work with you. But if you're welcoming, when I come and say we have a meeting here, let's discuss issues pertaining development of Amen Ward, and you're opposing, you're like, no, useless. How do I work with in such an environment? It is very difficult. So a recommendation is all forward is we should create a workable environment for between the electorates and the newly elected leader to provide to bring in this way forward.
We must admit that in electoral process, there is only a win and a lose. There's no draw. When your candidate wins an election, then yes, if the other one wins the election, he has taken it all. What you must admit is that you must now work with this one that have gone through.
So how are you going to ensure that we are going to finish these 5 years with peace?
The government, government institutions that are really participating in this should release all the political prisoners if peace is to prevail.
The new elects, they should now promote peace, unity, and togetherness. No matter where you've come from, whether it is you're from NUP, FDC, NRM, what is so important is calm down. You come and now start working together hand in hand with these other people, whether they elected you or they didn't.
For a candidate to admit the result, the outcome of an election. If you really respect the outcome of an election and know I was defeated because of this and this, be strategic enough for the next 5 years. I believe if you become honest to yourself, mama karatanga voting ano. Etakani bara edumuni vera ai puch otao konvere edumuja ai puchungin.
Electoral Commission should integrate and collaborate all stakeholders. What do I mean? We have the religious leaders or religious organizations. We have the civil society organizations. We also have non-governmental organizations and all government agencies. By so integrating or bringing them together, I believe we shall have peace and all will be well. Thank you very much.